Have you seen Star Wars?
Ahsoka season 2 just wrapped filming, and I guess it's a good time as ever to talk about season 2 and what this means for Star Wars because honestly, we're in a time where this is like the last chapter of the Star Wars television era or the era of Star Wars television, whatever you want to call it, whichever way you want to put the era. It is the era of Star Wars television from 2020 to 2025. We've only had live action and animated shows on Disney Plus to keep the Star Wars fan base active. And Ahsoka season 2 is kind of the last chapter of that because what do we have for Star Wars television after 2026? Maul Shadow Lord comes out next year. Mandalorian and Grogu comes out next year, which is basically Mandalorian season 4, and it's kind of a poetic thing of the Mandalorian came out in 2019, started the era of Star Wars television, and now it's ending it by being the first movie in theaters for Star Wars since the era of Star Wars television. Like it's all very poetic, but Ahsoka season 2 is like the last part of that, connecting to the Mandoverse and everything, because now we know that Dave Filoni's trying to do a Mandoverse Star Wars movie where it concludes everything that we've seen over the last 5 years. And the thing that they put out in the Forbes article when news broke that Ahsoka season 2 had rat filming is that this is disappointing news because Ahsoka season 1 wrapped filming in October 2022, aired 10 months later in August of 2023. So Ahsoka season 2 wrapping in October of 2025 means it's likely going to release in August or September of 2026. That's 3 years between season 1 and season 2. And if you guys remember, and I remember because I remember reporting this stuff as it was happening back in the day, is when they finished Ahsoka season 1, they did not immediately greenlight season 2. It actually took a couple months. It wasn't until they announced the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that they announced Ahsoka season 2, which is like 3 to 4 months after season 2 ended. So it was just very odd. And I think that was a signal a little bit, honestly, that maybe Ahsoka season 1 not only didn't do so well, but didn't do good enough for Disney to be like, "Yeah, let's absolutely do a second season." I think they had to be convinced a little bit that there's an overarching plan here because if you remember at the recent Star Wars celebration in Japan, Dave Filoni did a panel about Ahsoka, and he kind of made like some odd hints and tidbits about the financing of the show and oh, we need to sell more Lothal cats to get a budget or something. Like it was just kind of odd, and it made me wonder if Disney looked at them and was like, "Look, season one we spent a pretty chunk of change, not a lot like the Acolyte, but still it wasn't cheap, and it really didn't get the viewership or even gain viewership like Andor did in season one and season two, where it started off strong, drops off, and then gains, really strongly at the end. That didn't happen with Ahsoka season one. Ahsoka started off strong, dropped, picked up with Anakin came in, and then basically stayed at that exact same level for the rest of its run. I don't think Disney was overall that happy with how Ahsoka performed. I'm, as an audience member, not that happy with how it was written or directed or anything. So I hope season two is better, but I wonder if season two's budget is going to be lessened. And I'm also kind of questioning Dave Filoni because my question is, if why did this take 3 years to do? I understand you got the movie and you got all this other stuff that he's doing over there at Star Wars and Lucasfilm, but when it came to Ahsoka season 2, are you telling me after season 1 you weren't writing for season 2 already? Like you had to wait until it was greenlit to start writing. I really question like why this took 3 years because that takes off a lot of excitement and hype for the second season that it's been 3 years since we've seen them, you know? And I already know it's gonna be Cameo City. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, of course, Hayden makes a return as Anakin and you see the Mortis gods and all. I'm just the ideas of all of it, sure, but it just oh man, I'm so nervous with what they're gonna do with the second season. The only thing I'm really excited about is the Balin Skull stuff, and of course, I want to see what they do with the Mortis gods and everything. But do I trust Dave's writing to do it justice? Is the ultimate question. So this is a big thing, and like I said, I think this is the ending of the era of Star Wars television because after 2026, there's nothing. Like if Maul Shadow Lord gets a second season or Ahsoka gets a season 3, maybe that'll happen, but that's not going to happen in 2027. If they did a third season of Ahsoka, it might take another couple years to even get that done. So I'm just super nervous about this kind of stuff, man. Like 2026 should be on paper a solid year for Star Wars, but man, is it looking a little risky. Risky is the way I'm going to put it because I really have suspicion about what's going on with Ahsoka season 2 just from the executive aspect of it alone. Like, if it wasn't Dave Filoni making the show, would they have made a second season? Like, was this one of those situations where they're like, "All right, well, this is Dave's kind of baby here, and he's setting up stuff, and it's going to connect to a movie, so maybe we cut a couple million from the budget of season 2, and hopefully the viewership just gets up and it kind of builds momentum and has like a ripple effect for everything else." Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to bet on, and I'm just so nervous, man. I'm a lot of this stuff does make me curious on how they're gonna pull a lot of these stuff off when it comes to the Mandalorian, cinematic universe that is now cinematic because it's going to the theaters and everything. You know, they built up something with the Mandoverse, with the story of everything connecting, and it's kind of faded away. And having season 2 of Ahsoka coming out 3 years after season 1 is one of the reasons Star Wars does not have the momentum anymore. The reason The Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 worked out so well is you got season 1 in 2019 and then you got season 2 in 2020. Like, it's amazing how simple that can be. You just do it back to back, year to year, and build it, they will come. But if you announce something or do something, they announced Ahsoka season 2 at the beginning of 2024, and we're not getting it until the end of 2026, but season 1 came out in 2023. You understand how annoying that is, Lucasfilm? Like, come on, guys. Like, let's do a little better here. But I don't know. We'll see. What are your thoughts on Ahsoka season 2? What do you expect to see? And what do you think about the 3-year wait between seasons 1 and 2? Will that affect things? And the kind of notion that Dave Filoni has been insinuating, it seems, that there's stuff going on behind the scenes about the financing and maybe even the likelihood of a season 2 happening. Is this going to be the last one of the series? My bet is probably yes. But leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to support the channel, just leave a like, subscribe if you want to have more conversations about Star Wars. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I'm Star Wars only. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you always.